What is good? We're back for the final show before the start of the NFL season. Chev, what's up, man?
It's been a while. Has it
Yeah,
not?
sort
Yeah.
of.
Well,
Sort of.
I mean, like I'm over there on the other side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Just, just what's the dude's name that built the railroad? John Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just over there, John Henrying it up brick by brick.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be back on this side. It's like all fenced in and nice. 3-car garage.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice here. Central
Yeah,
heating and
man.
air. It's great.
We're excited. We're gonna have redraft coverage. We're gonna have dynasty coverage. We're gonna have NFL coverage. We're gonna have some college coverage. We got all sorts of new shows coming at you left and right. A lot of live stuff. Certainly going to be some pre-recorded stuff. But me and Chev are going to come here today. Just kind of a good time it with you before the season starts. Talk about what we're excited about, who we're most excited to watch. Talk a little week one action and some prop bets. Maybe some hot takes. Just a general overall fun show before the season starts. On the dynasty side of things, man, everything's been wrapped up and tied in a bow for the most part. At this point, if you really need to do something, you're probably in a bad position, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a rough go for you, bud.
Right. And obviously the redraft thing is exciting, and we're about to kick that off as well. So make sure you're following on the redraft channel, FF Fantasy. Then if you want to listen on the podcast, you can go FF Radio and catch everything we got. We got a new sponsor, Profit X, coming at you. You can use promo code FFD in there. You can get up to $200 cash back over your first 30 days you make for every play that you make. It's America's #1 sports prediction market. It's a peer-to-peer sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of a sports book versus the house. You almost always get the best price on any spread, any money line, total, player prop, since you're playing against other people rather than the book. It looks just like a sports book, but with way better odds. So we're going to be using Profit X through the season. We'll do some stuff on it at the end of the show, maybe pick some props, pick some lines. Pretty excited about the sponsorship and getting to know and use that website, because I'm pretty new to it, just like everybody, all of y'all are going to be. So as we grow and figure it out, we'll kind of show you what we've learned and what we've really come to like about it. But it seems to be really interesting. I've played around with it a good bit before we started here. So let's jump into it, Chev. Who are you most excited about before to watch on Sunday here in week one? Who do you got to see?
I mean, the obvious answer is Cam Ward, but if we're going non-homer picks, I want to see what the breakdown looks like for Travion Henderson. Like, I want to see if Mike Vrabel is strong enough and disciplined enough to say Ramondre needs his touches when he's sitting up there looking at the scoreboard, and it's like, oh, Travion Henderson's 5 for 48 with 3 catches for 28 yards. You're like, nah, this is a Ramondre series, dog. Like, I can't. I'm excited to see that more than anything, and I want to see how, more than anything, I want to see how Cam Ward handles the Denver Broncos defense. I'm not expecting it to go great, but if it's just, hey man, I'm poised, you can't rattle me. We might not win because we don't have the dogs yet, but you're gonna know that you were in a fight. So yeah, I'm solid with that.
Yeah, no, I'm obviously extremely excited to watch the Tennessee Titans and see what's kind of going on there. I'm excited to see the Calvin Ridley Cam Ward connection. I'm excited to see the poise that he's, I think, going to present, and the calmness that I feel like the Texans just really didn't have on offense last year. Right. So that's something I'm excited to watch. Of course, I'm excited to see what this Bears team does. That's gonna have a screen for sure. Gotta check, see what's good with that. I'm excited to see, like you said, the Travion. I got all these dumb games being played with depth chart unofficial. Travion being the RB3, my guy being the RB3. Like, we know all this. We know all this. All this nonsense is wild, right? It just, I don't understand what we're doing with these unofficial depth charts. Like, why are we even doing this?
The worst part of the unofficial depth chart is it has nothing to do with someone who is associated with the team. It's just beat writers' projections based on what they saw at camp. And again, if these guys just happen to be ball watchers and not ball knowers, they won't realize what's going on here. Just be like, well, based on the tally that I've made, and he got this number of reps with the first team offensive line, and Travion only got 4 reps with the first team offensive line.
Right.
Like, it's that shit.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And look, game 1 could go a certain way, and it could lead to a weird distribution of targets and carries for who's ever on that team, right? You know, obviously we don't know how the Commanders' pecking order is going to go, but I think we have an idea of all of these, how they're going to end up working out. But let's also not overreact. That's a big thing, is really like, also let's not overreact to week 1. And we can say this now 5 minutes into this just kind of show where we're going to have a good time before the season starts. I think it's easy to do, but we got to pump the brakes and use rationale and say, just don't overreact to anything, good, bad, or indifferent, that happens week 1. Because it's really is at this point just an extension of preseason. We're figuring things out. The Saints were 2-0 last year, right? You know, so that's just what we need to come to grips with, figure out. Things are going to happen. People are going to figure out how to use people, exactly where and when to kind of use specific skill sets and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I know that was a big thing. Like all of a sudden it was like Tyler or Jalen Warren gets an extension, and we're like, what? So how does this change anything that's been going on with the Steelers over the course of this offseason? I don't understand what's happening.
Well, I mean, it's having new news.
Yeah, right.
It's the, you know, like, we're so starved in a 24/7 news cycle for news about anything that anytime it happens, you're acting like it's, you know, it's last call at the bar, and that news is the best looking thing that you can get your hands on. So, like, that's, to me, that's what it signals. I mean, again, we're on different sides of this thing. We both love and believe in the talent of Caleb Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe in his offensive coordinator. I've been on record as saying this. This is,
I don't necessarily believe in him either. I don't think it'll be as terrible as you've laid it out.
Not terrible, frustrating, incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
Why is Tyler Algier on the field so much frustrating?
Yeah, I mean, potentially, but I also think that, you know, they've got Aaron Rodgers in there, a player who is going to have a decent amount of say in kind of how things go over there. And by all accounts, from everything that you're reading right now, it has been, the players are pretty excited about him, and what he's been doing around there all seems to be very positive. And at least the PR has been really good for Aaron Rodgers. I you know, first hot take of the show here, I'd go, you know, Steelers win. I'm not going to go with the division, but I think they're going to be way better than that close to 500 record that they've been. I think they're going to be, you know, I know it's a tough division, but I also think that they haven't had a quarterback that can manage a game and do the kind of things that Rodgers can do. I know he's old. I know he's not the same old Rodgers, but like, they've also been playing with the ghost of Russell Wilson, a running back at quarterback, and Kenny Pickett, right? So like, I feel like if we just have an adult playing quarterback in that room, this defense is very solid. You've gotten rid of potentially George Pickens and gotten maybe a semi Spider-Man-ish meme kind of thing in DK Metcalf, who has had times where he's had some DK Metcalf-esque things on the field where he'll disappear, but they apparently feel better about it. Rodgers really likes him, has been talking really highly about him, said he was the reason why he came over here. Or a big reason of it. And then you kind of saw like the leak stuff of him and DK out there, you know, playing together, just seeing how everybody's kind of put together. And so my first hot take is Steelers get to at least the second round of the playoffs this year. They've made the playoffs a reasonable amount, but they've been eliminated, you know, also fairly.
They haven't won a playoff game since 2017 against the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. It's been almost a decade, man. It's time to get out of the wild card, bud.
Yeah. So I think Steelers better than a lot of people think this year. Not super hot. We'll go lukewarm on that one, because they've obviously been solid under Tomlin, you know, the no losing seasons things or whatever. But I think solid season, very good season, stunning season coming from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there will be some frustration, I'm sure, on the offense, on the play call sheet and some player usage at times. But I think it'll be a little bit better than we've seen in previous years because of Aaron Rodgers having a little bit more say in kind of what goes on there.
Yeah, that's kind of. I told you one of my first appearances on this, I was like, I am not interested in Aaron Rodgers going to Pittsburgh at all. And I mean, with between Arthur Smith and that whole deal, that whole goblet of bullshit that he's going to be coming with, and then what happens if they're running stop routes and not running past the sticks on third down, and DK Metcalf gets mad and snatches the offensive coordinator's headset again. I mean, what could go wrong? No, I mean, it would be dope. It would be dope to have Aaron Rodgers close out his career back, just clanging and banging, slanging it. Aaron Rodgers is my favorite quarterback of all time. So this is always a tough watch, like realizing like, hey man, it might be over. And it could, I mean, it's definitely closer to the beginning than it is. I mean, definitely closer to the end, yeah. The beginning. But even still, like I want this to happen, but I still don't think it's gonna happen. And yes, Aaron Rodgers is my favorite quarterback of all time. Full stop. No, Cam Ward can work his way in there. It's like Aaron Rodgers, probably Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and then Cam Ward is somewhere like around like 50, but he can work his way up very easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so I'm definitely excited to see the Pittsburgh Steelers. Somebody up here said the Dallas Cowboys, to see what it goes. Woody Marks in the Texans backfield. Definitely excited to see that. How are we feeling about that Texans backfield as we get closer and closer to the season?
Well, it's a terrible run out week one, dude. Like I don't know if you've seen, but they retired Aaron Donald in Los Angeles and then just reloaded with 9 glass eaters that they just rotate over and over and over, like all throughout the game. So you got Verse, who, I mean, he's incredible. And then you've got his teammate Fiske, you got Kobe Bryant, you got Byron Young. Like they're so deep up front, and that Texans offensive line is just not. I don't know how this is going to shake out. I know that they traded Laramie Tunsil and they said it was better for the room overall. But like, when the fuck is it great to trade your franchise left tackle? Like, is he that much of a miscreant and that much of a distraction that you're like, hey, nah, we would be better off with a much lesser talent protecting our rookie quarterback?
Yeah, it was definitely strange to, kind of the quote unquote addition by subtraction situation over there. So I think that's almost the bigger thing than the rotation of those backs and who's coming can that line do anything? Can it be slightly better than last year and really help everything kind of move forward? The buzz is really about that defense right now. That's all I've been hearing about, is how good that defense has been looking. But we've got, what do we got? A 3-point spread here for week one. Yeah. Houston getting 3.
Yeah.
At the Rams.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Smash the Ram side.
Smash the Ram side.
Smash the Ram side. Yeah.
Even with epidural Stafford.
Hey, Matthew Stafford's not even on the injury report this week.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Apparently, I just found out that I hate Josh Allen.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
You didn't know that? You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that I hated Josh Allen.
We've got an over under for Nick Chubb rushing yards of 46.
Under.
Quick under. Quick under.
Man, I'm not gonna like. I think very highly of that Rams front, and I do not think highly of the Texans offensive line. They ran the ball effectively in stretches last year, but I don't know if y'all forgot, but Joe Mixon was horrendous down the stretch. That offense as a whole during the fantasy playoffs last year was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, Mixon got a little banged up there at the end.
Again?
I think Mixon got a little banged up at the end there, and the line was starting to struggle. But Mixon had a pretty solid season, but a lot of touchdown propping him up. I don't think Mixon
was awesome. I mean, he was awesome. Weeks 1 through 11, I believe he was the RB1 in points per game. But then the fantasy playoffs, Fantasy playoffs. That offense was just. I mean, you guys were there. You remember what happened.
Yeah. How about Allen actually could connect with Kincaid, and if Coleman is closer to above his first half of the season than the last half of the season? Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how that Buffalo Bills offense runs, but I don't think we're going to be in for anything new and surprising. I would like to see a little bit more Kincaid involved. There was still a decent target threshold for Kincaid when targeted, when playing. So I think there could be a little advancement there. Coleman just popping up on the injury report late here. I don't love that. Before game one.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a bummer, but I think you're going to see more of the same. I mean, the Bills offense functioned really well last year, even though we didn't love it. We got Hill, Adams, or Pickens rest of the season and week 1.
I'm assuming this is Tyreek and not Taysom.
I'm going to assume as well.
Okay. And then Devontae Adams and George Pickens. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I go Adams, Pickens, Hill for me. That's the way I have it in my rankings.
The Hill thing just seems stinky right now. I don't know. The whole thing stinks. I think that's first coach out is Dolphins. I don't know what we could get odds wise for
first coach fired.
First coach fired. Who do you think that list would be? It's got to be McDaniel
for sure.
Dayball if things go horribly, or does the draft of Dart get you another year?
Depends on how quickly they're willing to put Dart in.
Steichen, if things go horribly bad.
Steichen is definitely on the list. So that would be. I mean, obviously, we both think that Mike McDaniel's probably number 1. Then I would go Steichen, then Dayball. Because I mean, the GM. The only thing is the GM who hired Dayball, or the GM that's with Dayball is still there. I know the Steichen's everybody in the Colts building is coaching for their jobs. Same with the Giants. But the Colts have screwed this up so royally that they had to bring in another quarterback they're going to start now when they drafted a guy 5th overall.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that they're on the way out.
Yeah. I feels like Steichen would really have to make a nice playoff run here to maybe say, I think that's a whole clean out. I think everything just goes, but that might not be, he might not be like first coach fired. It might just be an end of the season firing. Trying to think who else would be quickly removed this season. Brian Callahan if things don't go well. Okay.
Yeah, very easily I could see it being Brian Callahan.
I mean, Kellen Moore's a rookie. He's not getting
unless they do the sacrificial lamb with Kellen Moore. I don't see that going poorly.
All right, who else are you excited? I think Carolina Panthers excited.
Yeah, that's been one of the cheapest. I've been saying that is one of the cheapest offenses to get pieces of. Like, hey, I want a receiver that I feel like's locked for 125 targets. Oh, I can get Ted McMillan. I can get Tetaroa, the big pineapple. I can get him for, in the 5th round, or in the 4th. I can reach and get him in the 4th round, or and in dynasty startups where he's like 4th round pick still.
Something like that.
So, yeah, you can get Tetaroa for really cheap. You can get Bryce as your QB2. Chuba is locked in as I believe the workhorse again. He's available in the redraft in the 6th round, and in dynasty also around like that 7th round range ish, if I'm not mistaken. And then I love how cheap that offense is. But if I had to pinpoint one thing that I wanted to see this week is Michael Penix. Captain Durag. I am ridiculously excited to see what he does this weekend, because I think he is going to absolutely shock some people.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess I've already kind of feel like I already feel really good about Michael Penix, so maybe I'm in the minority there. But yeah, who does Atlanta have week 1?
Tampa Bay.
I can't find it on the schedule. Oh, it's the first one. That's why. All right, so we got Tampa -2, Atlanta +2. They're in the Superdome playing Atlanta, or Mercedes-Benz Stadium rather.
Mm-hmm.
You got to lean there. Tampa's the dark horse for a lot of people's Super Bowl pick right now.
Yeah. They have I mean, did they get their secondary stuff figured out? Like, that's what I need to know. Like, that's the reason. Part of the reason I'm so excited for Michael Penix is that secondary was absolutely atrocious last year. And, the 2 games that Kirk Cousins looked outstanding, save for the comeback against the Philadelphia Eagles, where he played a quarter of good football, is the 2 games against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year. So I'm excited to see. I mean, Michael Penix was number 1 in air yards, in the week 16 to 18, hero throw rate, all that stuff. I'm really excited to see Michael Penix because I think this is a prime opportunity for everybody to refamiliarize with themselves with a guy who proved, like, I mean, let's look at what's going on with everyone that was involved with that Washington team that went to the national championship. Kalen DeBoer, how's that going? Ryan Grubb, already been fired once. Jalen Polk, out of the NFL. Jalen McMillan, pretty solid, really solid, actually. Pretty solid.
Hurt.
And then, Rome Odunze, top 10 pick. I mean, I think he's going to break out this year, but he clearly was at his best with Michael Penix. He put up 1,600 yards. So I think people are starting to come around to the idea that Michael Penix is just really fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, Kalen DeBoer went to a situation, you're following a living legend, which is always a situation that's incredibly tough to deal with. I have a lot of faith in DeBoer. I like him as a coach. I don't know if it's going to work out at Alabama. I think almost never works out. The next guy after the legend. That's a really tough spot to be in. But yeah, I mean, for me, it didn't. If you watch any sort of reasonable amount of watching football, the amount of that NFL level throws that Penix was making on a weekly basis, playing in Washington, which often is, not the best weather, right?
Yeah, it's dreary. It's sad. It's
right.
Kurt Cobain weather.
So I wasn't too surprised there. That was one of my bigger draft calls of that year, and it happened to work out. This year, hey, we got a lot of we're excited about Caleb Johnson, but hey, that could be one of the biggest draft flubs of this year for me. So you win some, you lose some, but here we are. We got Bijan over under 78.5 yards against that Tampa front. Is that still a shutdown run defense?
As long as Vita Vea and Levante David are there, they're always really, really good. So yeah. I was looking at some stuff because I'm about to do the running back ranking show, and it wasn't the best for Bijan against Tampa last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it played twice within a month, and it was okay. But again, that's I keep hitting my mic. That's one of the games where it was a little more muted. He's still my RB2 on the week. And again, that show will be out really soon. But I'm trying to pull up the exact numbers. Let's see here. It was 15 for 61, I believe. Yeah. Here we go. 12 for 61 and 3 for 16, and then 7 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown saved him, but he was 13 for 63. So basically 12 carries for about 55 yards. He scored the second time. It's a really stout run defense, but like I said, the advantage is to be had through the air, and you can never bench Bijan because you're literally one jaw-dropping play away from him making your week.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean that I would almost say under on the 78.5 there.
Yeah, I'd go under this week, but
still going to have a probably a solid fantasy day, like you said, with the catches. There was no receptions or reception yards on Bijan there. Bucky Irving over 70 rushing yards.
Bucky over or under 70. I like 70. 70 is a solid number.
70 and a half.
I'll go over.
You like the over on that one? I don't.
Mm-hmm. I don't have like. If I had to say, hey, how confident on a scale of 1 to 10 I am, I'd say probably like a 5 or a 6.
How big of a difference are those rookie draft picks going to make in that front for Atlanta? Are they more hunters of the QB than stoppers of the run?
Yeah, James Pierce is one of the most athletic natural pass rushers, but I don't think he's going to line like if Tampa wants to line up and run the ball, that's what they're going to be able to do. I don't think that changes. I don't think that they're going to instantly show up and change that. I mean, Jalen Walker is kind of a tweener, right? Like it's not, he's not a bona fide defensive end edge rusher, nor is he, a stand-up linebacker. So
yeah, we got under 70 for Bucky from Big D over there.
Boy, Big D.
He says, no, sir. Falcons just lost their starting tackle last week for the season. No, yeah, they did lose.
They did. Mitch McGarry.
Yeah.
Or Caleb McGarry,
I believe.
Yeah.
So, that could certainly be an issue for a division rival first game of a historically fairly stout run defense, right? You got a backup coming in there. I couldn't tell you who that is currently. So could be some good action.
The backup tackle for the Falcons, the swing tackle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. So pretty excited about the week 1 matchups here. And anything else that comes to mind real quick before we kind of move on to some other subjects?
I mean, it's a good point that Mr. Blue brought up. Also, those young pass rushers won't have to face Tristan Wirfs, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think Tristan Wirfs is playing week 1. So that'll be interesting to see as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So who are some, obviously we kicked it off with talking about a little bit of rookie talk, but who are some of the rookies who you're the most excited to see? I mean, I think we hit on Travion. Mostly, I think we're mostly excited to see distributions, maybe week 1, but again, that's something that we need to temper expectations for not, I've seen it every year where we go into 2 or 3 weeks of some information of target shares and this number and that number, and then by week 5 or 6, it's completely out the window, right? So we do need to temper expectations, but obviously we're excited I'm excited to see Travis Hunter week 1. I'm so excited for Travis Hunter week 1. Like
you took the words right out of my mouth. That was where I was going first. I was like, let's go with Tetaroa. But then I was Travis Hunter. That's been the hot button issue. That's been the hot button issue for months is Travis Hunter. What is his offensive breakdown? Now you got some nerd from the Jags posting an unofficial depth chart where he was a backup corner and a starting wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like he's going, yes, guys, he's going to play offense. You know who said that he was going to play offense before it was cool to say he was going to play offense? This fucking guy right here. So like I love the fact that Travis Hunter is going to play offense. I think he's going to be awesome. I think it's going to go great. I just don't think it's going to be the type of reward that you get, just fresh out of the gates. Hey, this is a generational talent at wide receiver. We have no patience as a fantasy community. So all of a sudden, guarantee you, Twitter's going to be filled. If he goes 4 for 50 with no touchdown, Twitter's going to be filled. Oh, he sucks. He's a bust. He should focus on corner. See, Liam Cohen's stupid. Like I can see, having done this enough and just being on the internet enough, like the overreaction is going to be just palpable one way or the other.
If there's a silly highlight in there, though, even if it's 4 for 50, like if it's just a drab 4 for 50 where it's like he just didn't go, I'd almost rather see him do those, like just go out and do what you're supposed to do and get what you're supposed to get. And that's kind of what I'm expecting from him. If there's a silly highlight in there, though, people will be the other way of like, oh my God, he should be targeted more. They just get him off offense. But, so you're exactly right. It's going to be overblown one way or the other. Almost, there's almost no way around it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's it. There will not be a measured response in the house for one Travis Hunter.
Yeah. I was going to go look for his reception total. But somebody said Golden in Green Bay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think was it a Jones fracture for Jaden Reed?
Jaden Reed, yes.
That's I don't think we've. I know we certainly haven't, because we didn't really know what it was until recently. But like, it's sort of a big deal. I don't. How long does that last?
Well,
Is that going to be a problem all year? Like, if you don't rest, how.
I can't remember if which Twitter PT guy was. It wasn't Jesse Morris, but they listed the guys who have all had a Jones fracture and the treatment protocol, and it was this guy, surgery, and it was like Jaden Reed attempting to play through it. Case studies 0. So we might get like 2 or 3 weeks in this thing, and then they have to shut it down for Jaden Reed. I've never heard of somebody trying to play through a Jones fracture before. So I don't know. It makes me way more excited about Matthew Golden and Tucker Kraft than most people would be. But yeah, Matthew Golden now has the keys to the castle.
48 right now is the number on ProfitX for Travis Hunter receiving yards. So kind of right where you were just talking about.
I'd throw fit. I mean, that Panthers defense is bad enough, and I don't fear anybody in that secondary besides JC Horn. So
yeah,
and he's going to be on BTJ. Sorry guys, Travis Hunter's not going to draw shadow coverage over Brian Thomas Jr. yet.
But, so would you take the under on BTJ 72.5?
No, BTJ is going to fucking cook too.
Oh, JC Horn's light work, huh?
I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. is Brian Thomas. Like, did we forget what Brian Thomas Jr. is? I'm not one of the people, like, unless it's like you're going to take a time machine, go back to 2009 and bring back Prime Revis. I'm not going to be like, I'm just really scared of this guy. Somebody asked me the other day, I guessed it on another show, and they were asked, it's like, so are you afraid that PS2 is going to just completely erase Calvin Ridley? And I was like, fucking kind of question is that? It's like asking if an NBA player as a defensive specialist is going to shut down Kobe Bryant. Like, no, Calvin Ridley's not Kobe Bryant, but he's one of the most technically sound receivers in the NFL. He knows how to get open. He's been getting open at an alarming rate for a really long time. Yeah. So is it going to be like, 8 for 150 and a touchdown? Probably not. But could it be 6 for 70? If they're going to target him 11 or 12 times or however many times it shakes out, because it could be a negative game script for my Titans, yes, he's going to produce. And I'm not afraid. I'm just not expecting him to be, if I'm doing a DFS lineup, I'm not expecting him to be a premium play for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, what might even be, how's that line hold up? Is this defense as good as advertised in that game? Just going into just kind of showcasing that Denver Tennessee game. Like, how much time will Cam Ward have to be able to find Calvin Ridley might be more of a question. And then can Patrick Surtain trick Cam Ward into a throw or two potentially, right? That isn't the best idea. Sure. Right. And so those are things that I'm not necessarily worried about the matchup. I'm maybe worried about the as a whole, but is the Broncos defense as good as we think it's going to be? Most likely it should be. Yeah. But I feel like so many times we've gone into things like this and been like, oh, they got better. They added even more stuff. They're going to be ridiculous. And then it's like maybe a little bit of a letdown. I'm not saying it's going to be. I think Denver's going to be, a very solid team this year. Should be led by the defense once again. Will it be? TBD. But the parts and pieces are awesome. So hopefully the sum of the parts is really fun.
Well, that's the reason I'm so excited to see Cam Ward this weekend, is because that's a defense with a seasoned defensive coordinator in Vance Joseph. They've got studs at all 3 levels. They've got 2 elite pass rushers in Nick Bonito and Zach Allen, who can line up all over the front. And then you've got PS2, Riley Cooper. They draft Jahdae Barron. Like, they have everything that you want in a defense. Like, if I'm going to battle test a quarterback, I want it to be against a defense like that. And I think Cam Ward, if he just shows the poise that I think he has, I don't care if it's, as long as he takes care of the ball, like I think it's gonna go fairly well. But he also has a tendency to, get outside, just try to force balls where they don't belong. No Diddy.
Going back to the Golden kind of talk here. Mag says Reed may be cooked this year, but Dubs
I
has
agree.
been a good flex and stash for me. It's especially is now 100%.
Yes.
When Romeo's out there and healthy and not upset about something, he's always been a very solid NFL receiver, right? There's nothing sexy, but he can get open, he can get the win. I think they trust him a good bit. I'll see where your boy Wicks kind of ends up.
Right.
But yeah, the Reed injury and this seems to all be trending in a good direction for Matthew Golden. Now we have seen them, target distribution kind of been all over the place. Can Golden come in and clamp down a nice chunk of the target share of that offense? Be kind of outstanding for him as a rookie season. And if he did, I think going into next year, we'd be so high on Matthew Golden. It'd be incredible. Mags then comes back and says, I'm mad I missed the opportunity to get Golden to the top of the second in many drafts. Yeah, I mean, there was some decisions to be made there. And if you had multiple, then you probably should have split it up a little bit. Golden has definitely grown on me since, I feel like at first we were heavy on Golden, then we faded on Golden a little bit. And now I feel like his stock has risen back up. Right. So I think
we got real football information,
right.
And it aligned with kind of what we thought during the college football playoff when he was out there doing his thing.
Yeah. So Matthew Golden week 1 under over 46.5.
Detroit, we're looking at, I'm going to go over.
I would go over on that too. I think one. That's one big play, and I feel like that's what they're going to try to get a big splash or two with Golden early, and see what that speed looks like in real life. Right? Can they handle it?
I mean, if you don't believe in that, go back to Christian Watson's first ever target in the NFL. They're going to test them deep.
Yeah. So Golden definitely excited. Somebody had mentioned Ibuka. Of course, I just that path just keeps getting clearer and clearer from my man to just come out here and just absolutely shut things down his rookie season, man. And he just, every time you turn around, the PR is just spinning and spinning and spinning for him, man. And for good reason. I mean, that's just, we came in with kind of a professional tag on him, the professional, right? And he hasn't disappointed at all, right?
So let me ask you this, and this isn't something that we've discussed.
Cam Ward has 0 kids despite forcing balls deep.
That was pretty good.
Strong.
So let me ask you this, and this isn't something we talk. Who is a guy for you that could, like, again, being overly reactionary, week 1 overreaction, who do you think moves that's outside of the top 10 dynasty wise right now? Who moves into the top 10 after a monster week 1?
Rookies or
rookies?
Anybody?
Yeah.
I think Matthew Golden and Ibuka are probably the 2 easiest ones.
Yeah.
I think we're already pretty excited about Tedero and McMillan.
Yeah.
I think he's already a good bit higher than all of those guys mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Are you just talking receivers, or are we going running backs too?
I mean, just any rookie. Obviously, not Golden, but obviously Warren and Loveland, we can't do those because they're already top 5 dynasty tight ends ish.
Sure.
Ibuka and Golden are outside of that range. Genty's inside of the top 10 already. So you'd be left with Travion and Marion Hampton, that whole glut of running backs, that are basically left over.
It has to be. Shane here says Henderson, and like he makes the most sense because he could, like, to me, it's got, like, I'm not going to overreact that fast, but for the community to overreact, it's got to be splashy. It's got to be splashy.
Yes.
So Henderson does make a lot of sense, right? Dan comes in with a little Bill action here. He's already 4th on the depth chart, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Bill. It's got to be Bill. If he comes out and gets majority of the carries, maybe a touchdown, his value is going to the moon. I think.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think it's going to move up to top 10, but he might have the biggest actual jump of what's the word I'm looking for? ADP, I guess. So
the biggest change in ADP this weekend. I was leaning Travion Henderson. I mean, that's where my mind goes first. I could see it being RJ Harvey or Marion Hampton.
RJ Harvey could be just that immediately comes out and the target volume is just crazy and he looks good with it. And so that's like a little bit more of a rational take for me to be like RJ Harvey could be the one because it's just like, ooh, that's what we thought. He's confirming biases real quick. And this just the floor is high and the ceiling is higher, right? And so that makes you be a little excited. But Henderson makes the most sense because it'll be the splashiest if it goes and it goes well.
Well, I mean, RJ Harvey could get there too. I mean, he was,
sure.
It was him, Caleb Johnson, and Genty in terms of breakaway run rate last year.
Yeah.
So if he breaks a 70-yard touchdown, God, I really hope that doesn't happen. But if he breaks a 70-yard touchdown, and you just see him just leaving, there's nobody else in the frame. I think it's going to get really aggressive.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it would be Hampton because it just feels like they're just going to tamp that down a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not a slight on Hampton at all. I think Hampton's a good, solid player. Right.
Why do you hate Hampton so much?
I've never hated Hampton. He's always been pretty highly. I just feel like them as a whole are just going to, he might have a splashy play, but I don't think they'll feature him enough potentially to rise, but it'll confirm biases for sure. And people like him a good bit. So that's a easy one. You're out of the loop. Who's Bill Krosky Merritt, Mags?
Corey Krosky Merritt. And we have to give him extra points because he's already done the superstar running back thing of changing the pronunciation of his name.
Ooh, I didn't see this one.
To Bill.
Oh, okay. I thought there was some some odd pronunciation of Krosky Merritt or Jacory or Corey.
Yeah, it's Corey. It's a really long A sound. It's just he just changed it from Jacory. He goes by Bill now. So we got Achan, we got Bijan, we got generational talents change their names once they hit fantasy stardom.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's a good question. Any questions we've kind of skated through here before we keep it moving?
Let's see. I mean, everybody. So. Higgins.
Higgins.
We got some Higgins action. Oh, wait, that.
Higgins. We got a little Big D Higgins. Yeah, big. There's Higgins certainly has a path. I feel like there'd have to be a Nico injury though for him to really jump up there. But I think there's definitely a large possibility of a ridiculous catch from Jaden Higgins week 1.
Man, so he just kind of confirmed everything that I felt in the preseason. And I've seen this thought on Twitter X quite a bit. And the thing is like if it's Nick Chubb, if it's Woody Marks, if it's Dameon Pierce, the answer is the Houston Texans pass catchers. Like, let's just go get as many of those as humanly possible. So if we're talking about Jaden Higgins, now Christian Kirk has been added to the injury report with a hamstring injury. Like,
already killing me, old Christian Kirk.
I told you, man. I 1000% was like, look, man, I don't think that his body is gonna hold up for very long. He's great. He's a great player.
So good.
But it's just his body does not like football.
Doesn't seem to currently like football.
No.
Let's see. Rodriguez is ahead of him. Yeah, that's what they're saying. I think Rodriguez is going to get some run, and they're going to see what he looks like.
Yeah.
For the Commanders there. In case you guys were wondering.
Yeah.
We just picked that up out of nowhere.
Here's the thing. You've been saying this for a while. And I've been saying like, hey guys, go make trades for Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. But Austin Eckler is not, I mean, he's not cooked. He's going to get the ball first.
Yeah.
Like they're going to hand him the ball first. They're going to throw him the ball first. He doesn't, he's stated that he doesn't want like a workhorse role. So that's the saving grace for me for a guy like Bill or a guy like, you know, Chris Rodriguez, who's been reverted back to the practice squad God knows how many times by them. And they still got do you know they still have Jeremy McNichols?
Yeah, he was dancing around there somewhere in my memory.
Yeah. So they still have him too. But I think if you're asking me which option week 1 would be the guy, the most likely guy to score double-digit fantasy points, I would have to go with Austin Eckler in any kind of PPR format.
Yeah. Yeah, it would see, as long as he can stay healthy, I think I'm probably right there with you. I've been really loving the late round Eckler for a while. It's gotten more expensive. But yeah. I think he's gonna be he was good last year, man. Like when he was healthy, you know, it wasn't the sexiest thing ever, but where you were being able to get him this year, it was a nice little pickup. How is Houston going to get the passing game going if their O-line is trash? Just a quick game with Stroud. You know, very, very. We kind of touched on that in the beginning of this. You know, I don't exactly know. We're gonna have some mobility from Stroud, which isn't out of the question. Can this addition by subtraction, quote unquote, with the O-line? And honestly, I've talked about it a few times. Like, I think the satellite Woody Marks with the OC being back connected to the New England Patriots, going back a little ways, and being used as kind of, you know, that pass rush killer. You know, you don't want to get too far upfield because they can, hey, we're just going to get it. We're going to get it just right back over your heads, right in the spot where you just came from. Just like when you blitz with a linebacker or blitz with a corner, we're just going to put it right back over there. And we're just going to try to slow this thing down just a little bit. Because we Stroud had a down year last year, but I mean, we forget how good Stroud was as a rookie so quickly, right?
Yes.
He's got kind of that, you know, I don't want to put the Joe Burrow thing on him, but he was kind of like looking, that first year was like kind of had some magic in there and was tough and fitting balls in windows and throwing it all over the place. So like the Texans could be Cincy South, right? The offensive line stinks, except the defense is much better in Houston, right?
I'm gonna let Big D,
and it's going to be a lot of 11 now. They're out of the last, so that does kind of suit a quicker pass game. Potentially could be an effing mess, but
it could be really bad. It could be very, very bad.
And again, don't overreact because we know how good that D line is for LA week 1. So week 2, we could be looking at a nice line for Houston, huh?
Listen, I want to believe that this is gonna go really, really, really well for this offense, just the rollout. But it's a terrible matchup. We have so many questions. I mean, Big D kind of hit the nail. This encapsulates the way that I was thinking.
Big D did not like Slowick, that old OC. I was like, I think Slowick's going to be good. I don't mind. He didn't.
Well, he was good in year 1.
He was from the beginning, said no good. So got to give Big D a shout out with Slowick for that fit for Houston. But year 1, it was great.
Yeah, year 1 it was good, and then I feel like they didn't adapt to the personnel.
Mm-hmm.
Like they took Andrew. So what worked was they had Andrew Beck on the field quite a bit, and they were just running like power zone.
Well,
runs.
they wanted to be that San Fran, that 21-12, get a fullback involved. Beck was on the field way too much.
See what I mean? And then last year they got away from that, but there was no chemistry. Also, one thing that I remember, because I have a shit ton of Tank Dell just rotting on my bench right now, is they had so many broken plays. So many broken plays. Like plays at last where it's just, all right, you know, Tank Dell ran a corner, it's not open. All right, cool. Just run down the field. I'm gonna throw it as far as I can and just catch it.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know, they used the quick game quite a bit with Stephon Diggs. And that was kind of how they were functioning when Nico Collins went out, but then he tears his ACL, and then they asked Tank Dell to carry it, and Tank Dell does an okay job, and then he gets eviscerated by the Chiefs. So,
Yeah.
One point that Big D's making here that I absolutely love, not to highlight Big D too much because we are huge fans of Big D, but pause. Okay, we can recover from
Shout
that.
out to our new sponsor, Profit X. Okay,
we're fans of
Large Derek.
That is Large Derek, Grande Derek. Okay, all right. That's crazy. But here's the thing: I treat these first couple weeks of the season as basically the preseason because
sure,
they don't practice as much as they used to. Like that's not conjecture, that's fact. They can't practice as much as they used to, and nobody plays in the preseason anymore.
Yeah.
How can you get better at football if you're not playing football?
Yeah. No, you're right. And we let off with that a little bit, but I agree. Strong defense, good call, Big D, week 1. We've seen since good Cincinnati doesn't Cincinnati, usually bad start and had a poor defense, right?
Yeah. I mean, you got Burrow trying to reverse the curse. He's out there fucking in preseason games, like it's fourth down.
Golly,
yeah. I was like, throw the fucking ball away. Throw it away.
Get out of here.
Like, just let it, please, just go down. Like, either throw the ball away and then just fall down so nobody will touch you. Just stop doing that shit. Yeah. I was like, man, if we get Cincinnati ruined in 2025 because Joe Burrow won't sit the fuck down, I will be so sad.
Yeah. All right. I got 2 more things I want to touch on here before we get out. One, this is kind of a 2-parter. Upset of the week this week, week 1, and underrated team through the season. Who's going to make surprise everybody? Who's going to go from like a cellar dweller to it doesn't even have to be a great team, but a good team. So week 1, I'm going the G-men taking down the Commanders.
We've done this. Why are you doing this?
We have done this. I think it was on Patreon, though. I think it was on Patreon.
You don't have to do this, bro.
I know, but I'm saying this is going to be the upset. Just you got to pick an upset. I think it's let's see here. We got a 6-point line here. 6-point spread, if you will.
Let's see.
Got that there. So we got Giants at Commanders. We think that, going back to our conversation just a minute ago, we think the Giants defense is going to be good. Defense week 1 showing up. They have some athleticism on that D line, right?
Oh yeah, they've got. I mean, their D line.
So that could give a little bit of fits. I'm not so sure about the back end of this Giants squad here in the corners, as you've alluded to the last time we talked about this. We'll TBD there. But
Cordell Flott's about to get fucking barbecued this weekend.
I'm thinking that this can be a tighter game than the 6 that's laid out here. And the G-men could sneak one out week 1 and get the upset of the week. I'm not saying G-men are going to be the team that goes from worst to first or any of those things. Just week 1 and the 2-part question. I'm going G-men. Who do you got? If you had to pick one.
If I mean, do I have to pick? Is there a certain number? Like, is there a certain
No, just anybody who you view as a less than, like, Saints over the Cardinals, right? I mean, it's not that's still a 6.5-point spread.
I would go. I'm either going to go with my Titans or the Carolina Panthers.
Carolina's 3.5, I believe. Yep, we got Carolina 3.5. At Jacksonville.
The Falcons are 2-point home dogs, but I'm not going with that. Okay. And then it's way too cheap. It's way too cheap to go Lions. Lions are 2-point dogs at Green Bay.
That's Cincy mini spread, only 1.
That's wild. But also we have to factor in the last 4 years of Cincinnati, the Septingles.
Or sorry, Chicago, Minnesota.
That's only 1? That's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting that Vegas would be there with, Vegas knowing what the Vikings were last year and apparently knowing how bad the Bears are.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what if JJ McCarthy isn't the second coming of Tom Brady?
Right. So you like your Tennessee Titans, or which is a 8-point spread.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who would be
an upset?
Who would be your underrated team this year that you think could really come up and make waves? I don't think it can't be Miami. I don't think it's going to be Miami.
No, I'm not picking Miami. They don't address the trenches at all, and they can't beat good teams. So it's never going to be Miami.
Raiders. Somebody mentioned the Raiders beating underdogs over the Patriots. But could the Raiders make a statement at all?
The Patriots side of that.
Yeah, I feel like the Raiders division's too tough right now for them to really. I think they could have some tough games and look more formidable. But I don't think the division's too tricky to navigate to really make waves.
They're going to be plucky, but they're a year behind on the whole rebuild schedule that the Chargers and the Broncos jumped on. So, yeah, I mean, they'll be entertaining. They're going to play really hard. They'll probably surprise some people at some point. But yeah, I couldn't go with Vegas. I think if I'm picking a team for the season, I'd go with the Patriots.
Rebuilt the trenches a little bit.
Rebuilt the trend. They qualify. Like, did you address your offensive line? And are you at least somewhat salty on the defensive line? Yes. He goes and gets Robert Spillane, like to be the green dot leader on his defense. Christian Gonzalez is going to take another step forward whenever he figures out this stuff with his hamstring. They brought in Carlton Davis. Like they're not going to be trash this year. Like that's just not what Mike Vrabel like.
He's not going to allow it.
Yes. Like he will kill someone in the locker room, actually assume their identity, and just have a body double out there just standing on the sidelines coaching before he allows them to be trash. So I go with the Patriots. I mean, like
that's a good one.
If you think about it, there's no other threat. Like I don't see Miami.
Just the Bills. It's just the Bills. This is a good one. I think this is a good one. It's just the Bills. And to think that they can't have a good, strong game against the Bills. May runs around a little bit. They've reinvested in Diggs. He's healthy. Kyle Williams is decent. Hunter Henry is best friends with Drake May. Always solid. They got a three-back stable that all can do some different things and some similar things. Like, look, I know we sleep on Antonio Gibson, but once upon a time he was in CMC.
Oh my gosh! Like, I'm gonna tell my kids about that. I'll be like, guys. So one time. First of all right, there's a white running back. The only white running backs in the Hall of Fame. Okay. Then we had this guy who used to play receiver, and everybody thought that because they had the same coach at one point that he was going to be him. And it just never worked.
Quick one here. Trade Olave for Krosky Merritt, half-point PPR. Either will be on my bench. Is this a
redraft trade?
If it's either way, I'm going Olave.
Yeah, no. Cruz, please, brother. Please.
Big D says Saints are his choice. Expectations are low. Coaching staff us against. So it's an interesting one because their defense has always been fairly solid, and their offensive line was decimated last year. They added a first round pick, Banks.
Kelvin Banks, yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean that's certainly interesting. I think my two I think an easy one is Chicago, right? But that division's tough, right?
Yeah. It's a terrible situation to be in.
Right. Your division's tough. The Vikings have a rookie quarterback, so maybe there's essentially a rookie quarterback in there. Obviously the Packers just should have just gotten better with the deal that they just got with Micah. Obviously, a pretty solid O-line all around. Josh Jacobs, good receiving core, and then Lions. I think we may see like a little bit. I don't know if for fantasy wise, I don't know if the offensive output is going to be quite as good as we wanted it, as we're used to it being. I think they're still going to be a good team. I don't think they're just going to fall apart. So I think, I'd either say Chicago or Arizona, and I would go Arizona. Not a whole lot of change on that offense. They've been a feisty team. If Kyler can put a season together, the division isn't as hard as it typically is. I think it's kind of open for anybody to take advantage. I think any team could get any team in there, so they could all be kind of hovering around at the end of the season. And 1 or 2 wins get you over the top there, right? I think they're going to beat each other up in that division.
I can't go with Arizona because I don't believe in Kyler Murray as a real NFL quarterback. If you're ranking the head coaches there, like there's no scenario where you don't put Jonathan Gannon last.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way.
Yeah.
So they're less talented on defense. They're, for the most part, they're probably slightly less to on par with everybody offensively. And then you got to deal with being, undercoached or not having the same firepower that the other guys have. Now, I know you could make an argument for Mike McDonald. I always get this.
Me too. Every time. I always screw it up.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I'm like, all right, is it Mike McDonald? There's a Mike McDaniel. There's a Mike McDonald. There's a Josh McDaniels. So anyway, the Seattle coach, you could make an argument for him potentially not being as sharp as, him and Jonathan Gannon being on equal footing. Either way, I would still take the pieces in the environment in Seattle over what's going on in Arizona. So that's the only problem I would have with Arizona. And I want to be in, because we've talked about Kyler Murray being a sleeper for fantasy, but just real life quarterback wise, he pisses me off so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. A couple of quick questions here. Flex Henderson or Golden?
I'm going to call my shot and go Travion here.
Yeah. Who's Green Bay got? Detroit?
Green Bay's got Detroit at home. And the Patriots get the Raiders, West Coast Pacific time zone team kicking off at noon, which is something I always like to pay attention to also as well too. Like that typically tends not to go well for the West Coast team.
Yeah, it feels like the Golden's a safe play, and Henderson should be fairly safe. But do they want to get how much do they want to showcase Henderson? Is really, how does that game unfold? I think is how good Henderson can be week 1, right? If Ramondre's out there banging it around and they're moving the ball and they're passing it around, you might see a little bit more limited Henderson of what you might see in week 2, 3, 4, 5, the rest of the season or whatever. I think I probably week 1 would probably just roll Golden.
Yeah, it's safer to go Golden. I've got Travion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not starting Travion where I have him, so that's
right.
Tough call. Let's see here. Kincaid or Dylan Sampson?
Ooh-wee. I'll go Kincaid.
I think I would go Kincaid too. I would assume Jerome Ford gets the start.
Jerome Ford's getting the ball first. And we're talking about Jerome Ford like he's dog shit, but he's got a 75-yard touchdown and a 65-yard touchdown in his bag in the last 2 seasons. So he's not terrible. That offensive environment itself has just been kind of putrid.
Now, to be fair, they're playing Cincy week 1.
See what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like there's,
and Kincaid has Baltimore.
Yeah,
so definitely better matchup for the running backs in. I just don't know how that's going to break down. Although I think they want to run the ball.
That's Stefanski's. That's Stefanski. I don't know if it was because they were like, hey, we got Nick Chubb.
Yeah. I just feel like you could really, really whiff on the running back play of the Browns.
Yes. And it could be 2 points or it could be 12 points, but it's not more than like 15 or 16, unless we're all completely wrong, which that's, again, this is an imperfect science.
Yeah. They could run it 30 times and both guys have 12 points,
Right.
Which could be a real possibility, just trying to keep it out of Joe Burrow's hand.
Yeah. It could be a boat.
Mm, mm.
Could be both.
I'd go Kincaid, I think, as long as healthy. Cup or Downs, PPR.
Said Cup or Downs?
Yeah.
Downs has
Cup's got
got
the
the hammy.
Niners. Downs has got
Downs has Dolphins at home.
Dolphins at home.
Mm-hmm.
Big D said the Niners Hawks often gets a little nasty on D with both squads. But yeah, I kind of tend to agree there. Both sides kind of have a familiarity with each other, obviously in division, but now scheme wise, going to be a little bit similar. You know, Sammy D and San Fran know each other well.
For some reason, I feel like this is just going to be, hey, we know all your secrets. There's no stopping us. We're going to score a lot. Both teams.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see how your Niners are going to stop the run this year.
Yeah, I mean that's really the biggest thing with San Fran this year is what's that defense look like, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's that I think I honestly I think Seattle gets San Fran week 1.
That's entire. I mean, especially it's in Seattle.
It's in Seattle.
Yeah, I think CMC has a monster game. Niners lose on a field goal at the end.
That Seattle defense was so good on the back half of the year.
Yeah, we've traded them fucking Ernest Jones, and now they have their perfect linebacker for the system.
That spread's 2.5. San Fran minus 2.5.
So dumb. Yeah, they're a complete defense now that they have Ernest Jones and Leonard Williams up front and some other glass eaters.
And just one of the best defensive coaches in the league. You know,
and they've got all the pieces in the secondary. I mean, they've got Devin Witherspoon or Devon, however you pronounce his name, and Tariq Woolen, and they drafted a man Worry. Like they've got some guys that can absolutely go, and they've still got Julian Love too.
Yeah. Would you start Najee over ETN PPR? I'd play ETN.
ETN easily.
Pickens or Adams at wide receiver. I'll go George Pickens week 1.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't like that standalone Thursday. Yeah.
Well, okay. So here's what I've been trying to wrap my head around, and maybe you guys can help me. But the Eagles just lost their 2 most important leaders in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
They lost Slay. They lost CJ.
I think he stinks. So I don't.
You don't like CJ?
No,
brother.
Overrated trash,
brother. Regardless of what you personally feel about him, he's been one of the most productive turnover garnering safeties in the league.
For
over the last 4 years. And I think that, you know, losing a corner, especially the one with the tenure of Slay, makes a big difference. You know, the young guys are obviously very talented. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, you know, Reed Blankenship, but losing the guys that are your biggest communicators, I feel like that makes a huge difference. So I think Pickens, your lean initially, when I started thinking about it, I was like, man, I kind of like it just because George Pickens is the guy that can make your week on
one play, right?
And I want to see we believe in the Rams defense, or we believe in the Texans defense.
Houston, yeah.
You know, I doubt that Stingley's going to shadow Puka because Adams will probably line up. I mean, they do a ton of condensed formations, but you know, if it's Adams lines up on Stingley, that's an interesting matchup for sure.
Yeah, it was the quick. I'm just still a little concerned about Stafford and but you know, Philly's D should be good. Again, losing 2 coordinators, or at least they lost the OC. Did they lose the DC too?
No, Fangio's still there.
Oh yeah, Fangio's still there. So yeah, no,
it's a weird thing because we view the Eagles as what the end product was, but also we watched hobbled Kirk Cousins, who was still trying to figure out the motions, lead the most diabolical 2-minute drive because they weren't communicating with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see some of those early season problems cropping up and George Pickens getting loose for a big one.
Yeah, it's kind of like I would say like floor is Adams, ceiling is Pickens, but Adams could certainly have him just a crazy ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't know, man. That's a tough one for me. I don't have a great lean. I'll just stick with my initial one as Pickens is what I had, but the more and more I think I start leaning Adams, the more and more I talk myself into it here. But I think I just want the fun of Pickens week 1. But Adams is
You
probably
just,
just the
hey, look,
smartest.
you want something to sweat for the Thursday night game. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Adams and Olave for AJ Brown. I'm not sure the context there, if it's redraft or dynasty. Start
If you guys
2.
could like throw whether or not it's redraft or dynasty, this would help us a ton in answering the question intelligently.
Start 2, Tet, DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson, week 1.
I'll go Ted and DJ Moore.
I was gonna say Tet and Garrett.
Man, they're about to have Garrett in the Hell in a Cell match, bro. You got Slay, Joey Porter Jr., and Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. Plus, they're gonna get we'll see. I mean, Vera Tucker already out potentially for the year. That's a bummer.
Yeah. That sucks, man. I really was looking forward. I
Me
really
too.
wanted to see.
I want to see that line at full strength and see what it looked like.
Just run. I want them to run the damn ball and see, like, if they're able to run the ball the way that I think they'd be able to run the ball, Breece Hall and Braylon Allen are they're gonna smash for fantasy this
year. Yeah. Give up Adams and Olave to receive AJ Brown, redraft 1 quarterback, and then pretty standard through there.
No.
Give up Adams and Olave to receive AJ Brown.
No. I mean, like,
I'm probably going to keep the 2 there.
I think Adams.
But that's what you want to be doing in redraft, though. You do want to be doing 2-for-1s and trying to upgrade. So I like where your head's at and what you're trying to do there. But both, like, Olave's underrated, Adams is properly rated, and Adams I think could be, and or Olave can be nearly as productive as AJ Brown. Probably not game by game, but it's to me, I don't want to give both of those guys up right now for AJ Brown.
Yeah, I mean, they might throw the ball more this year. Like, they might. And they're going to be really good when they do it. But we know that the Rams are going to throw the ball a lot, and we know that Devontae Adams is going to produce probably at a very similar level to AJ Brown, if we're being totally honest. Like,
right.
He doesn't have to be what he was in Green Bay or his first year in Las Vegas to return on fantasy. So I mean, return fantasy value. So I would like to have those 2 guys instead of AJ Brown.
Traded Jacoby Myers and Cortland Sutton for JSN, redraft 1 flex PPR, win or loss.
I'll let you go first.
I really like JSN. I'd probably say loss, just because I think Cortland can score JSN points.
So I was gonna say, I was like, man, I got a Cortland Sutton stat, and I was gonna throw that out there, but yeah, you hit it on the head. Cortland Sutton can score JSN points.
Yeah. Steelers or Eagles D week 1. I think we just talked ourselves into Steelers D week 1.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I just, like, it all lines up. It all lines up to where the Steelers are a monster play. So they're playing a quarterback that they had in the building last year. They play the most elusive quarterback that we've ever seen, and they contain him better than everybody else. And you've got their offensive line already hurt. Yeah, give me the Steelers. And I have a ton of Justin Fields.
Same.
We're in the FFD 5, and that's one of my quarterbacks. It's probably not. It could go great because, he's going to be able to run around enough, maybe, to give you 50 yards and a touchdown where he doesn't sink your week, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steelers D is going to be a strong play week 1.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this one up. I was going to do power rankings, but we'll leave that for week 1. We'll be live Mondays, 11 a.m. Eastern, talking ball Then we'll have pre-recorded Dynasty stuff, and then Chev is going to have so much stuff on the redraft side of things. He's going to have waiver wire for you. He's going to have wide receiver and running back rankings. It's just essentially going to be kind of like a sit start. Then you're going to have some must starts, right? And some streams for them. We're going to have a little bit of some sort of a gambling pod on Friday nights. That's going to be live. So we're going to have plenty of content on both channels. So make sure you're subscribed on the FFD fantasy side of things. Make sure you're subscribed on the FFD side of things. And then, FFD radio.
There we go. I was like, don't forget FFD radio.
Gets everything. So, appreciate you guys. It's been a fun off season. We're excited to get things rolling and get stuff to talk about and get stuff to scream and holler about, of just, have some patience and calm the F down, as gets said a lot in season around here. But it's going to be fun. We're going to have regular NFL talk. We're going to have redraft talk. We're going to have college. Oh, I didn't even mention that. The boys, Dustin and Chev, did a college recap. They want to keep that going. So we're going to hit college recap on Sunday mornings. So we're super excited to get everything going. And like I said, you can get everything you need podcast wide, FFD radio. But I think eventually everything will have its own feed, and then FFD radio will just be the spot where it all comes together if you want to see everything that we got. So we're just kind of figuring some things out right now. So thoughts on Red Zone Kevin commercials?
There's gonna be a guy on a horse playing a trumpet here pretty soon, bud.
I don't even mind it that much. I got a lot of TVs going at once, so
if it
gives me a break.
Promise you, I'm going to break something in my house if they cut away to a commercial, like in the middle of a play or something dumb like that.
The problem with the Red Zone always for me is like, I got 4 games on or whatever, and the Red Zone's just like always on one of the damn games I got on.
That's the, like, we go quad box, or I'll go 3 on the bottom and then Red Zone across, like a big banner across the top, because that's one of the setups I can use. And so it's always like it's almost always on the game, like one of the games that I have on there.
Yeah.
But
all right, y'all. We'll catch you guys soon. Appreciate you. You gonna ball watcher us out of here or what?
Oh yeah. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. There's ball watchers and there's ball knowers. Assign yourselves accordingly. Until next time.
Peace.